Hey, you guys, welcome to The Return with Josh and Maria Cribbs. I am Maria Cribbs.
I am Josh Cribbs. And you caught me off guard right there.
What were you doing?
I was looking down and I wasn't listening.
Well, we live, so we can't
that's
do
why
no
it's
redo.
two of us.
Huh.
That's why it's two of us.
How you doing, Josh?
I'm right here, Josh.
Oh, yeah.
There's three.
Three.
Oh, yeah. See, there you go.
Well, I mean, because she's in close
Ryan's
proximity.
building,
Just
Josh.
messing
You
You
don't
with
make me feel. I'm about to say you make.
I was like, why didn't nobody tell me you can't hear the music in the thing? Anyway, viewers, welcome to the show. Hopefully, wherever you're watching us from, you are feeling just as good as some of y'all be looking. Now, Josh is looking.
What is it looking like?
Looking like
Looking
Christmas.
like-
I can't even talk.
Man,
I
are
look
you
like
glitching?
Christmas outside.
Hey, Ryan, she over here glitching, man. You thought it was a computer.
Well, no, I was driving. I was on my way
This is
here.
the Matrix
and I can't
we living
believe-
in,
I do.
man.
Oh, I do stutter, by the way. Especially if I get excited. I am
Goodness
a stutterer
gracious.
for real. I will get
I was about to have to take her.
tongue twisted and tongue tied. But no, I did not expect for the snow to be coming today. So as I was
did.
driving here, I'm
Ryan,
thinking,
she's the AI girl.
because usually I'm
Yeah,
late.
the one I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
by the way, Ryan said he's ordering an AI wife. So all the
Yeah.
ladies out there that was looking for love, it's not going to happen. Ryan's
Sorry.
Yeah.
wanna get the
They're
artificial
gonna be
ladies.
replaced.
See
Ain't
ya.
nothing like the real thing though.
Yeah, I mean, okay. But there are replacements.
Yeah.
But he currently has a blow up doll, so he has to upgrade to a.
Yeah.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong. He like, hey, don't mess with
I
Toshiba,
ain't
man.
saying no.
What would you name her, Ryan? Hold on. What would your AI wife be named?
Margot after Margot Robbie.
Margot.
Hold on. Who's Marco? Who's that? Who's Marco?
I just want to know.
Should I know who that is, Ryan?
Margot Robbie?
Who is that?
One of the biggest superstar actresses, probably the most gorgeous person on the planet.
What is she playing?
She was in The Wolf of Wall Street, one of her most notorious films. I, Tanya, Z for Zachariah,
Oh, her was
Suicide
she,
Squad,
was she the
Harley
robot
Quinn.
in I, Tanya?
No, you're thinking of I, Robot.
Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn?
Yes, Harley Quinn.
Oh, that's your type.
That's
Hold
your
on, there's
type.
been a couple Harley Quinns. How do I know the
Suicide
one
Squad.
with,
Yeah,
with
Suicide
Will
Squad.
Smith?
Yes.
Was she in
And she played in the other movie with Will
was
Smith.
she the gambler
Yeah,
one?
she was in
gambler one.
I've
The
seen every
gambler
one of her
one.
movies. It was, oh my gosh.
The
yes.
gambler one.
Yeah, when they
It
bet
was
on
like
the...
scamming people.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
forget the name of it.
Can't
Okay,
remember
that's
the
not
name.
Focus.
Focus. Okay,
Focus.
okay.
Great
I know
film,
that.
great
You can't
film.
just be throwing names. You gotta
Oh
say
yeah,
movies.
she can
See,
get
now I
it.
know who
I
she
mean,
is.
get respect.
Y-
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's your type right there?
Yeah.
I apologize.
Super hot. Yeah, that's my
Oh,
type.
you said super hot.
Yeah,
She
she's
would have been like a Megan Fox type, or you know what I'm saying? No.
So
She
your
drinks blood.
AI wife will be named after Margot.
Okay, all right.
So what is the blow up doll named?
Yeah, what's your
No, I'm just kidding. We have to imply that there is a
Listen,
blow up doll.
we've known each other for a while, but we're not
better-
that close
You
yet.
like-
better not have no blow
We
up
not
doll,
there yet.
Ryan.
Let's do the
Ryan's
show.
really looking to
Let's
have
do
a
the
blow-up
show
doll.
one more year, and then I'll introduce you guys.
It's snowing, guys.
Yeah, it's snowing, and I didn't expect, because usually, you know, I'm like, I don't know if it's a Maria thing. I'm usually about 10,
It's
15
Cleveland.
minutes
I'm
late.
like, oh, it's snowing again.
I'm
It
10,
doesn't faze me.
But
I'm
no,
like,
it fazed me because I'm about 10, 15 minutes late everywhere I go. So it charges in my head, not my heart. I always find something extra to do when I'm leaving out the door. But I was expecting I don't speed because I would hate the cops to be watching. I was expecting on making my way here at a certain speed, and the inclement weather made me change. You know, I had to, you know.
So-
anyway, we just going to ignore that. But anyway, I was
the
going to play a
inclement
video
weather
because I
made
wanna
her go
ask
the
you.
speed limits. The normal speed limit that she's the posted speed
But
limit.
hold on, someone, I want to give a shout out to Josh because he has been taking care of our driveway with all the snow coming in, and usually that's not his
Perfect.
thing. Like usually we're slipping and sliding. We got to make our own little tire tracks, have a walkway to the grass from the front door.
She gives me a
But Josh,
positive
he's been
and then
really-
takes it away.
He's
That's
been on
not
top
his
of
thing.
it. You've been on top
She
of
stays
it.
dogging you.
Yeah,
Josh, would
right.
you- hold on, would you not say you've improved?
I think I've always been on top of it. We have not had a terrible
Little
driveway.
Delulu. Little Delulu over here.
I've always taken care of our driveway. Who else has?
Anyway, so there's this
Oh,
video
wow,
that I want to
Ryan.
play because I want to say maybe you could have done something like this in the past when you weren't taking care of it. Ryan, you got the video for me? Now look at what this guy's doing right here, Josh.
I saw it on TikTok.
You did?
Oh yeah.
Hell, this only works in
That does not work in Ohio, everybody.
who driveway going to be as smooth as that? First of all,
If you hit the snow as it's coming, it is soft. The problem is,
Yeah.
Josh, you would wait. You back
you
in the
hit
day,
one divot
but
or one uneven
go
part of
fly.
your
Concrete.
driveway, concrete. I mean, this for him, you have to have a smooth surface. He should have put a disclaimer on there. And you see how he wasn't a small guy. He was putting
I
some effort.
personally think
He was putting some effort into
it
that.
covers more area, or more surface area than the snowblower, because I see you out there in the snowblower, you're going like it's like 8 inches up, 8 inches back,
I mean, like everybody with their snowblower
But if you
or
had one of
shovel.
those pieces of plywood, what is that? Where do you get that from? You could just do it in like 3 wops.
Three
wops?
Yeah.
Is that a new measurement?
Wop,
Yes.
wop, 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 wop.
Is that-
3
that's
wops.
a new increment of
Yes.
3 wops.
Yes, and Josh, you only complaining that the snow would be so hard because he'll wait till we drive back and forth over for a couple of days. And yes, it does get hot. I mean, it gets hard and it freezes over. But this case, if he goes right out there maybe like an hour after the snow
Let me
hits,
tell you, so
done in
you're
10 minutes.
supposed to shovel snow once it's finished snowing.
Oh.
Or else soon as you shovel it, which I've done before, if it's snowing, it only gonna take about an hour, and all the work that you put in is all in vain. It's like, damn, I gotta go back out there. So instead, I wait for it to finish snowing.
Oh.
Doesn't that sound
Well, okay.
smart?
Well, that video might
Work
help someone.
smarter,
Josh
not
seems
harder.
to have it figured out now that he's been on top of it the last few snowy days here. But you have not
I've
been
been on top of
No,
it.
not
You
for
see
years,
my
you haven't.
concrete when you
We've
roll
been living in that house
past.
since 07. Josh just started. You had the driveway looking amazing yesterday. And congrats to you after all these years.
Thank you. I appreciate my flowers, and with that, we'll take our first commercial
Because I heard
break.
some news going on with the Browns.
Take
so
a
don't go
break.
anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, now welcome back to the Return with Josh and Maria Cribbs. Now, Josh, on my way over here.
Yeah, some breaking news. So we recorded a little earlier in the day, and Maria, go ahead, because I was
It was only like an hour,
mentoring with the
about an hour
Shine-
ago, Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The tight
I
end
think
coach?
20 minutes before you guys walked in here. So right around 2 o'clock, I believe,
Yeah,
was
it's not
kind of on
that
the
much.
news.
I
It's
was
still breaking news,
mentoring.
Josh.
At Miles Park Elementary, and Maria, on our way over here, you shared the news, so go ahead and
I
share
just
it.
said, Josh, the tight end coach has been promoted to offensive coordinator, and I wanted to know, does that mean that Stefanski will no longer, still won't be calling the plays?
No,
Oh.
I told her no,
What's his
Ryan.
name, Ryan?
I
What's his
said
name?
no. That doesn't mean that that Stefanski won't
I
still
have
call
some questions.
plays.
Yeah, I
he
mean,
just got promoted.
I think if anything, he will still call plays. I think obviously the plan was this offseason. You brought him back after 3-14 seasons, so your plan is to go back to what got Kevin Stefanski the coach of the year, what got you winning football, back to heavy 12 personnel, using tight ends, getting the ground game going more often. And Tommy Rees, a very young guy, I believe mid-30s, comes from Notre Dame. This is his first time being an OC in the NFL. He was an OC at Alabama with Nick Saban in 2023. He left when Saban left.
So he has experience.
So he has experience, not quite at this level at the NFL, but he's an aspiring young guy that we've seen kind of that mold in the NFL go. You get a young guy, a bright mind, and hopefully he, climbs the ranks.
And I feel like it's okay. And cue the video, Ryan, because while we're on Coach Stefanski, Maria calling plays, there's a lot of speculation, in our fan base and even here on the show, should Coach Stefanski retain, not just the play calling, but since he's going to retain the play calling, there's so much kind of turmoil around the play calling and who is going to execute plays at the play caller position, not the play caller, but the quarterback position.
Okay.
Should Coach Stefanski be able to go pick his guy, call plays, and then everything would just be on Coach Stefanski? So we had a fan pull out something we said from the show, and then he had a whole little segment about it.
Oh, he did?
And his own comments. Let's listen to it, and we'll talk after. Go ahead, Ryan.
I think Kevin Stefanski has been handicapped already, which is primarily why I feel the way that I feel. I think that when you look at the situation in Cleveland, Baker Mayfield was forced upon him. Deshaun Watson was forced upon him. As far as Andrew Berry and his scouts go, when it comes to evaluating talent, come on, Josh, let's be real. Can we really look at each other and say that Andrew Berry has done a good job via the draft? If you look at the Cleveland Browns offense, how many starters do you see that he drafted? The answer is 0. I think with so much on the line for 2025, man, Kevin Stefanski should be awarded the opportunity to pick his own quarterback, whether that be Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, or whomever. I just think it's too much on the line. I think it's too much at stake. And if you're going to go down swinging, at least you're going down with your guys.
All right, now
So-
Pearl 26.
Yeah, and this was based off of our conversation on the last show. And we were talking about, do Coach Stefanski, or should he get to call the draft pick or name the guy he want in the draft, and then it all be on him. And I think, Ryan, you kind of was alluding to that based off of, because Earl, was it Earl the Pearl, 216? He felt like Coach Stefanski has proven himself to be able to go out and get his guy, and now it's on him. How do you feel about that? Because I felt, and I said this last week, it's Andrew Berry's and the scouts' sole purpose to go out and get the talent. It's Stefanski's sole purpose to, once the players are here, to go ahead and coach them up and win games.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily hate the idea. I mean, I think if anything's been proven, it's that Kevin Stefanski probably doesn't have as much power and as much say as he probably should, given that you succeeded with his offense. Now, I think that you bringing him back after, I said, a 3-14 season, I feel like you threw the Hail Mary with Deshaun Watson. It totally failed. Your options were limited. So maybe now they're reverting back to, handing the keys to Kevin, for a lack of better terms. And I wouldn't necessarily hate it. If he truly identified a quarterback, whether it was Cam Ward, Shador, or later it was Jalen Milroe, and he thought he could make it work with this offense, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Listen, if I was to have to trust somebody in Berea right now in that front office, not even really front office, but on the sidelines, it would certainly be Kevin Stefanski. Do I think that they're just going to let him pick? I mean, no, probably not. But I wouldn't hate the idea. Listen, if Andrew Berry and Jimmy Haslam said their guy was Deshaun Watson and that totally failed, then I guess I'd be all for giving Kevin Stefanski a shot.
I think if they don't, then Coach Stefanski probably is over there like, well, I shouldn't be to blame. But that's not the case. It's a business.
Well, I think it's also, too, how you said a coach's job is to coach someone up. So no matter who you get, you're supposed to make them great or make them better or make them be able to fall into your program.
Exactly.
I will say this, though. If he were to pick his own QB, which I do think makes sense to a point, it would have to be some type of stipulation, like, okay, you bring your guy in and say it doesn't pan out, you and your guy got to go, or we got to be stuck with the QB that you choose. Yeah,
that I don't think, because then there's a lack of due diligence on Andrew Berry and the whole scouting department. It's like, what are you there for then? This is the most important piece. You're the most important guy. This is your sole job, right, for the QB position. I think maybe they give him a select few of guys, Ryan, right? Cam Ward, Shador, top guys, top 3 or 4 guys. We're good with either one of these guys, Stefanski. Who do you want? And then they go with that guy because they are all cool collectively with these handful of guys. I'm okay with something like that as opposed to just whoever you want.
Right, and I feel like that's kind of probably what he was inferring and what he meant, because, yes, obviously, I mean, when you're talking about potentially a franchise-altering move at a quarterback, it's not just going to be one guy, right? It's going to be what they love to say that in Berea, a think tank, right? A brainstorm.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, like I said, right, this is a chance to hopefully wrong the rights of Deshaun Watson being here and all the contract and the blackness of just this black void that has been over this franchise for the last 4 years. And if Kevin Stefanski identifies a quarterback and there was one that they think is, worthy of a pick, then go for it. Go all in. I mean, you only got really one shot at this for right now. Because, I mean, if you go into next season, you stink again. I mean, Kevin Stefanski's not going to be here. Andrew Berry won't be here. And you're going to have a whole new regime.
See, Andrew Berry, to me, I think he gets a bad rap. Let me tell you the positives, right? The positive that I like about Andrew Berry is 2 things in particular. Smart as hell with the money. Find out how to change a contract to whereas we still have cap. He's been doing it ever since he's here, right? Pulling a rabbit out of a hat with the cap space. We've been in cap trouble. He restructured the contract. Now we have more cap money. Tremendous with that. He's been getting a lot of flack with, just his picks not panning out. The second thing I like about him, Maria and Ryan, is that he goes big. I think we need that. I think, and to have also for Haslam as well, when people say, oh, we don't have a good owner. They allowed their general manager to go big for a guy like Deshaun Watson, right? Despite the problems, let's just X that out. Had he panned out, that would have been huge for this team, right? Other organizations, other head coaches.
That's why I can't come down to the Haslams like that, because I feel like
right,
they put their money
on.
Where, they
other
tried.
Head coaches, other owners would not have allowed their general manager to make such a splash.
Yeah.
Lerner would have never let them guarantee a contract or go out and get a Deshaun Watson. We would have played it safe and did something. Sometimes you have to make these bold moves in order to change a franchise. And the more bold the move is, it could either help greatly or hurt greatly, and we're on the other end of that.
Yeah, I don't mean to like speak for everybody, but I think a lot of the reason that people have a problem with Andrew Berry, I mean, the drafting is one thing, but with the whole Deshaun Watson thing is, it wasn't that you went out and made this move. Like, they saw that they probably didn't have the ceiling of Baker Mayfield, and you saw it in this year in the playoffs, obviously a first-round exit, that you need a guy like Josh Allen, a Patrick Mahomes, a Lamar Jackson to really get to that upper level, and they swung for the fences and struck out,
missed.
really. But it was when you refused to admit that he wasn't going to work out. It took 2 season-ending injuries eventually.
Oh, well, let me
You
say
already
this.
paid
An
nobody
Achilles
in, though.
tear.
Brian, you agree that I know you're like, man, they should have ended the regime of Deshaun Watson.
Yes.
If you're the GM, though, how do you explain that? With the amount of money that's put it in, you can't swing for the fences, miss, and then you're still on the hook.
Yeah, no, I understand.
You're essentially, if you decide to end that, you're ending your career. You still have to salvage something as a general manager who swung for the fences. You got to salvage something from all that money. You can't just waste it.
Yeah, I mean, your hands were certainly tied with it because of the contract and the guarantees. I understand that you can't just be like, poof, you're gone out of the organization.
Right.
But I mean, at some point, no matter how much you invested in it, you got to realize at some point it's a sunk cost. And that's what the Browns didn't refuse to do. And it took an Achilles tear from Deshaun Watson to realize that. They were still sitting here talking about him competing for first team in camp. No, that was a facade. And now, not thankfully, I'm never wishing an injury.
You was about to say it because you don't want him here.
Thankfully for the Browns, in terms of cap flexibility and the insurance policy potentially being cashed, a lot worse things could happen than that injury.
Okay. Let's fast forward a little bit. The draft. Is that okay? Did you want to say something else about that?
Quickly. I just feel like we're taking some of the accountability off of Coach Stefanski. I do.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I've seen people have the worst talent and coach them up.
I get that.
Coach Prime, Coach
Right.
Deion Sanders. Some men are gifted to be able to. Okay, I'm not working with much, but I'm a coach these men into greatness.
Right.
If any coach can go out there and just pick who they want,
Right.
are you a coach?
So let me
Hold
put.
on, because how many backups do we have? We got 3 QBs on the roster, right?
Right.
You tell
At
me
any
none of
given
them-
time.
None of them.
Right.
None of them could do the job. You couldn't coach none of them to success.
Right.
None of them.
I get that
So then
point.
now I'm questioning why are the backups that we have. Now we need better backups. If none of them could seal the deal or do the job and step in and make this season somewhat of or better than what it was. What were we, 3 and what?
14.
3 and
3 and
14.
14. None of our backups could have stepped to the plate, and the coach couldn't coach them up to greatness.
Right.
I think y'all need to put some of that blame back on the coach. I'm
I
sorry.
think Stefanski gets his fair share. I think
All y'all hear is Andrew Berry has him.
No,
Andrew
well,
Berry has
right
him.
now, as the draft approaches,
Yeah.
and that's more shifting to Andrew Berry's realm.
Yeah.
That's their
what he-
Super
that's what
Bowl
he-
time.
mhm.
Because during the season, they just got to sit and watch the product comes out, or they, make trades and everything during the season. But their most important job is draft and free agency, acquiring talent.
Right.
So the reason why I say I push back a little bit, Stefanski gets his fair share of grief. Everybody always say when we have a bad game, they always trying to fire Coach Stefanski. Always. I mean, but the year we went to the playoffs, they still wanted to fire Coach Stefanski throughout the year. So he gets his fair share. Every coach that comes through Cleveland gets their fair share of flack from our fan base and from the NFL.
Right.
So I won't say we don't, but it's Andrew's turn, so to speak. Because when we're
'Cause the
talking
draft is
about
up.
draft and our outlook, their job is to put the players here. So their job now is in question by the fan base. Not saying that Haslam has any thought in getting rid of Andrew Berry or Kevin Stefanski, but from a fan perspective, the Andrew Berry and company, the scouting department is on the hot seat because the draft is approaching. So with that, and we're going to talk about that after this commercial break.
All right, don't go anywhere. All right, you guys, welcome back to The Return with Josh and Maria Cribbs. And Ryan's right here.
I'm about to say, we're going to start putting Ryan
I
in.
know Ryan.
Thanks,
Come on.
man.
I know
Man.
Ryan. What's up?
And Ryan. With Ryan.
So we're talking about the Browns and the draft coming up and how Andrew Berry's on the hot seat. My thing is, look at how everything panned out with Watson, which who would have known any of this would have went down.
Right.
You still give someone another chance to pick it, bring your draft picks in here? Or should they have been let go after the season? Let me start over and see what we can do with someone else.
Who are you referring to?
Andrew Berry.
Well, listen to this. The Browns went to the playoffs. Coach Stefanski got Coach of the Year. And that was with Baker Mayfield. Then the Browns didn't go to the playoffs. Everybody wanted to fire Coach Stefanski. Next year, the Browns had all these injuries. Brought Flacco in. The Browns go back to the playoffs.
Right.
So you got a coach that in 5 years you went to 2 playoffs and you won a playoff game. That's not necessarily a bad resume considering where the Browns coaches have been in the last 15 to 20 years. The Browns coaches have been horrible. And I don't think we've had a coach this long
No.
on the Browns roster for 5 years. I think this is the first.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
it
it
seems
is.
like the Haslams are all in. Like I'm not. Like, we didn't fire the head
He
coach.
went to 2
We didn't
playoffs.
fire y'all's GM, and I'm going to let them still pick these draft picks.
Stefanski went to 2 playoffs.
Well,
What coach has done that since the team came back?
None. Zero. Zilch. Nada.
So this is progress. This is a down year. I think this year has to be an up year.
Yeah.
I don't even know if we have to go to a playoffs. I think, if we have a year like the Bengals, 9-8, who just missed the playoffs, I think we still are sour as a fan base, but it's not 3-14.
Right.
Progress was shown.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when we look at what's to come, right? What's in the news? Deion Sanders met with the Cowboys, Ryan.
Yeah, he did.
And when we talk about the first, couple slots in the draft, we have number 2. In order to get, I don't see the Cowboys taking, Deion Sanders without Shador. So there's going to be
Shador and Shiloh. What you talking about?
Yeah,
Both
let's
of them.
just be real. Let's woe your horses right there.
That's real.
That's not.
Both-
It can
I
be
wanna
real.
coach
Yeah.
both
Well,
my
you know
sons.
what? If he's the head coach,
Yeah.
he has autonomy to say, "Bring."
Coach Prime ain't going nowhere and being anything less than
I'm
a
not
head
saying
coach.
that. No. I'm just saying
Oh.
if he's the head coach of the Cowboys, we can
Or the
surmise. Hold on, Maria. We can surmise from that he gonna bring the whole group as much as he can. Shiloh eventually. He's not a top round draft pick.
Right,
though.
right.
So that's not out of the realm, right? But for sure, Shador Sanders. For the Cowboys to do that, Ryan and Maria, they got to make some heavy trades. They are number 12. They pick right now in number 12. So I'm trying to see.
Are the Cowboy fans, are they happy with Dak Prescott?
But that's my question.
Got to get rid of Dak then.
You got
Bring
Dak
Shador.
there and 150. Is that even logical? Is that even possible?
They
Ryan?
trying to trade Dak Prescott
Everything is
to
possible,
the,
but
Titans.
Yeah,
Is that likely?
It's possible. It's not likely. I mean, you'd have to restructure Dak's contract, I believe, before you even traded him. They would have to move a bunch of restructures with other players not named Dak, and then you'd have to agree with another team. They would have to then rework the contract with Dak to make it like language that Andrew Berry likes to do when he restructures and whatnot. I mean, it's possible, of course. Very unlikely.
But they got to do that with us.
Oh, you saying bring Dak here?
They got to.
Is that what y'all talking about?
I'm
Because
just.
I was thinking, I know the Titans, the fans over there, the Titans want Dak Prescott over there to help them out next season.
I mean,
Y'all
if
saying
they
bring Dak here
if
to
they
Cleveland.
choose, no, we're just saying it. What the Cowboys would have to do.
Oh, okay.
But if
Ryan
the
said as if
Cowboys-
he wanted him over here with us. You hear how you worded that?
Yeah,
I ain't
and I'm about
saying
to-
nothing.
Oh, it sounded like
I'm
he
about
wanted
to
him over
talk
here to
about
Cleveland
that,
in the
though.
brown and orange.
He could possibly,
Oh.
but that's what I'm saying. How is that a possibility? And I'm thinking about how would that look, right? Would that service us? That would be the veteran. Again, it's a whole lot of problems with the money. He's owed so much money that it's guaranteed, just like Deshaun's. And how would that look? And what will we take for him? I think that, of course, that 12th pick, a next year first round pick, and the second round pick, and Dak for the number 2. That's how expensive that number 2 pick is.
Yeah.
But would Dak fit here, Ryan? Would that make sense for
I mean,
Cleveland?
I'll say this. Dak would be light years above anything that we've had post-Baker. I'll say that, but I would definitely prefer to go down the route of just drafting a rookie quarterback, hoping it pans out. I mean, that's all you do. That's all teams do is you draft a quarterback, hope he pans out, you get him on a cheap rookie
Why
deal,
hope, though?
and you can build pieces around him.
But why hope if you said it, right?
Because the reason you're still referring to Dak is because can Dak win a Super Bowl? I don't know. It doesn't appear to be. It doesn't seem like he can even get to the Super Bowl. And it's crazy to think about, but if you really want to go to the Super Bowl, and yeah, that's where I'm shooting at as a football fan. I want to get to the Super Bowl, even though it
Next
seems
year
light
we
years
do.
away.
Have we
You
had a
need-
quarterback
No, but that's the point. That's the whole
Right.
crux of it. I mean,
Okay.
you're just gonna be throwing darts until you get it. Until you
And
get
you
a
rather throw your
Jaden Daniels.
dart. You rather throw your dart in the draft.
Yeah, I think it's the only way to do it.
You want a rookie QB?
I mean, that's the only way to do it.
It'd be a whole lot more fun than last year was. That's for sure.
For sure.
Okay.
Is Dak injured right now?
Yeah, he's
Set the
rehabbing.
season out.
Okay.
Half the season.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. When we looked at Dion's interview, he went on your girl show,
Oh, Tamron Hall.
Hall, and Ryan, he said what I've been saying, and Maria, this is the stipulation why I said Shador is not going to come to Cleveland. It's because his dad won't let him. And Dion didn't say Cleveland, but who else could he be talking about when he said he wouldn't let him go anywhere to any franchise? He would do like any father or parent would,
Right.
with the knowledge that he has,
right.
and step in. He said, "I'm just not gonna let him go anywhere," and everyone knew he talking about the Browns.
But hold on though. But if we just hold out one more season, we
What do
might
you
be able to
mean?
have Coach Prime over here with the Browns, the head coach of the Browns.
if he won't
And
let
have
his son
Shador.
come
Hold on,
here,
wait a minute.
why you
Maybe
think
Shador
he
can
gonna
no, but maybe Shador can just go train for a season and just wait and see how
stop
our
it?
season
You
pan
living
out.
in cuckoo
How about that
fairyland
look?
now.
Coach Prime, the head of Cleveland Browns.
Hey, she living in while she lives in fairyland. We're gonna
Shador
take another
Sanders.
commercial break.
Oh, we'll be right back. All right, now welcome back to the Return with Josh Maria Cribs. Now, doesn't it have a nice ring to it? Coach Prime
It has
coach
fictitious.
of the Cleveland Browns, coaching his son.
So
Shador
does
Sanders.
the Narnia, the Adventures of Narnia, that we used to play for the kids
Well,
back
if
in the
this
day.
draft don't pan out and this season don't
The
pan out next
never-ending
season,
story.
everybody losing their jobs.
The never-ending story. Go ahead, you go with a fictitious story or a fictitious
No, I'm
movie.
just saying. I'm just thinking about that. I mean, so
That will never. But anyhow, back in real world,
oh, well,
Ryan, what do you think?
wishful thinking.
Yeah, definitely wishful thinking. What do you think about him saying, he would not let his son go just anywhere,
Would you?
and know that it might be the Browns?
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him. Obviously, as a Browns fan, I don't like it. And personally, I mean, I'd rather have Cam. But, I mean, I know a lot of people really like Shador. Well, again, I don't blame him. I mean, it's been a factory of sadness for quarterbacks. And as a father, even college coaches do that for their players that aren't even their kids. But in this case, it's his own kid. It's his own blood. So, of course, he probably won't let him come to Cleveland. I mean, I don't think that's a very good strategy at the end of the day. I mean, I think you want to get drafted as high as possible. I mean, you can say what you want, but you never know what situation's going to work and what's not. Like, obviously, yeah, if he goes somewhere else, there's probably a greater chance that it works out because history will tell you that. But I mean, I think it's old. I don't know. I don't like it. I think if you're privileged enough to get drafted in the NFL, you
That's
should be
how I
lucky
feel.
enough.
I'm
and
old
you should
school.
and you should embrace whoever
and I'm
whoever
old
wants to put their
school.
franchise in your hands. I think you should embrace it.
If you're drafted as a quarterback, that team is saying, you know what? We want you.
And hey, I mean, at the end of
That's
the
what they said.
and at the end of the day, Josh, I mean, if you really believe in yourself, like if you're Shador, I'm sure he believes he's a first-round talent capable of being a franchise quarterback, then go all in, believe in yourself, because I'll tell you what, if you come here and you are that franchise quarterback, you will be a legend here. If you got the Browns to Super Bowl, you'd be right next to LeBron
Legend.
James.
But you'll be a legend.
He'd be right
here.
next to
You'll
Jim
be a legend
Brown.
here, but
Yeah.
it's different when you go. to
I'll build the Shador Sanders story
No, but
if
it's
we go
different.
to
I
a
will
Super
say
Bowl.
this. It's different when
It's not.
you are a successful player in Cleveland opposed to when you're a successful player out in New York. Like you always see them on Saturday Night Live and or the players
get
out
that.
in LA. Like you know what I'm saying? You're gonna be hot. Shador gonna be hot in Cleveland. Do you really want to be hot in Cleveland? Or
It's
you wanna be
different
hot
now.
Worldwide.
It's different now because Hot in Cleveland wasn't even filmed in Cleveland. I was on it.
And that's the point I'm making. He could come here
I'm-
and bring everybody. He
I'm
bring the
saying-
Browns to a Super Bowl, and he's only
I'm
going to
saying
be
this.
popular in
He
Cleveland.
could
in the-
change that because Manziel came here and wasn't a star and was popular everywhere
But
else.
then he came. Didn't Manziel come from
Everybo-
Texas schools? Texas,
Yeah.
they had those big. Okay, so they're
But
usually
Shador
those-
is popular now
but usually
too.
those college players get the big. They have people that really follow their careers. What I'm saying is when it comes to and to your point, Ryan. Shador is unique because he is a player who's going to be drafted who has a father that knows this business. So I'm not going to let my son go to just any organization, any program, and possibly have his career sabotaged. He should not come to the Browns unless the Browns are willing to let Coach Prime have some control over what's going to be done or what's going to be in his son's ear.
I'm sorry. That's not possible.
He's not just any kid.
I get you.
He's not just
I understand
any kid.
that.
He's not some kid who,
you said
father
your piece.
Don't know any better. His
you
father
said
knows
your
the
piece,
business.
and we all know.
You ain't got to shut me up.
I'm understanding. So
all right.
The antithesis
to
that
he did a snow blower one time, and now he think he getting ahead of himself.
Mute her mic for all the hating, but no, and keeping with that same vein, as a father should want to allow his son to go forth. Now, he did all he could. High school, matter of fact, Pee Wee League, Pop Warner, high school, college. I think this is the time that they are able to part ways, and now Shador go out there and do his own thing and be his own man. He can have some say-so because Dad been there and done that. He's a legend, Hall of Famer. If he can't do it, nobody can. But I think at some point Shador need to stand on his own and say, "This, I want to go make this team, this organization, a superstar."
Oh, and I'm sure he
on
will.
my back.
And I don't think he's saying that he has to coach his son. But I think he should definitely counsel him on what team is a good look for him. And look at the coaches that are there. And
of course he will.
Not talking stuff. Our son Israel, it was such a big deal of what high school he went to. So could you imagine if Israel was like first round draft pick? Josh is going to definitely be in it. Nah, that coach. Nah, I played him. He was some trash. You ain't gonna let him come.
Every dad would. You think Ryan wouldn't be in his son's ear?
So we're agreeing that Coach Prime.
I'm agreeing that I get it.
Okay.
All I'm saying is if and I know it's a business, but if you're that good and you believe in yourself and you think you could be a franchise quarterback, then put your money where your mouth is. Let the Browns draft you. Go be the guy that nobody in history could be since coming back. Like, show us what you're capable of. Make it up to you. If you're that good, you should be fine.
Oh, so now you want him here?
Listen.
Let the Browns draft you.
If you want to pay me millions to make this decision, I'll gladly do it.
He's going to get paid millions to go anywhere he goes.
Let me say this.
Do you want to be coached by Coach Kevin Stefanski?
A lot of people, they turned their noses up at Ball, the father, right? And
the
father,
players,
LeVar.
Yeah.
And they all was like, "Oh, he crazy, messing up his sons." All of them doing well, right?
You gotta ensure that
people. It's a grind. It's a certain grind that a father who knows what they're doing with their child. That sometimes look on the outside looking in, people turn their noses up, but those kids always end up fine. If you look at all the great talents in sports and in performance, the dads had a certain type of grind. Look at Joe Jackson, right? If you hear the movie, see the movie The Jacksons. Look at the Serena, the movie Will Smith played the father in. They had child services come to the house. Like, it's always something about the dad that society looks at differently because the grind is put on a public spectacle. And they like, oh man, that's because it's the necessary ingredients are looked at. And listen to me now. The necessary ingredients are looked at in a terrible way or an uneven way to people who aren't used to such a grind. Right, and the kids from that, they end up being superstars.
Right,
they end up being great because of it. Sometimes I question myself. I'd rather my son hate me and he be a millionaire.
Oh yeah,
than pamper him through his life.
I would love to be a part of Jackson family.
Right,
2300 Jackson Street. Go ahead, and give me a bunk bed.
You look like Latoya back in the day.
Been the two of us. Remember that song Michael Jackson was singing to them?
No, you ain't a Jackson. You're not a Jackson.
I don't go anywhere. I wish I was. We'll be right back. All right, now welcome back to the show. Now I was on X and I was seeing
Hold on. I got one more thing.
Go ahead. Welcome back. Sorry, we're getting right to it.
I got one more thing. Did everybody see Zane Gonzalez, who was a kicker for the Browns, who now he kicks for the Washington Commanders?
What happened, Ryan? What was
I mean,
that
okay, he has a thing. He takes off his helmet.
He had a ritual.
Ritual.
Oh, ritual. Okay.
And he had to, make his hair look good.
He was big nervous.
I thought,
really?
Of course. I saw the nerves, and I felt like he was trying to have his 5 minutes, right? He's about to go out there and kick a game-winning field goal, right? and it hit the the post,
And went
the
in,
upright.
though. But
It went in.
Okay, I'm about to say, please tell me it went
But
in.
I was like, dang, these Cleveland kickers, man, once they leave here, it's rough out there because it was a chip shot.
Yeah, it was like
they
30
were
yards.
close. It was closer than a field goal. I mean, than an extra point. And it still went dong. And you saw the replay. They showed Jaden Daniels, and he was looking like, bruh. Like, what's going
what is
on with these
going on?
kickers, bruh? And just to remind you, the Commanders went through about 4 kicks. He was
Yeah.
like the 4th kicker from the year.
Yeah, he was.
So he just landed with the Commanders, and they're like, man, can we find somebody? Because that's what they had, kicking issues, and that kick hit right off the upright and could have went the other way.
Right.
Yeah.
That was something. It sent the Commanders into their first playoff win in over a decade. I
Yeah,
believe,
I
over a
think
decade.
like 20 years.
Yeah,
20. Wow.
yeah. Since I was a youngin'.
Did you speak it? Did you have any rituals that you did before you played or
I
after?
did.
Darren?
I always say every time I go out there to catch a kick or punt, I would always say I would unsnap my gloves and re-snap them and say ball security equals job security.
Oh, okay. You
Every
did say
time.
that.
Unsnap them and re-snap them.
What about the Eagles player AJ Brown who got caught reading a book on the sidelines? Did y'all see that?
I did, yeah.
So everybody was going crazy because
Everybody
he supposed to be
doing their
locked
own
in, man.
thing.
But
Yeah.
he was saying that's his way of kind of refocusing.
Locking
and-
in.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, Ryan.
I don't either. I mean, AJ Brown, I
It
don't
was
know
the
the guy,
playbook.
obviously.
Yeah, I didn't
why
think
would
he
I know
needed
You
the
don't
that.
follow
guy?
the Eagles.
But
Yeah, I didn't
I
think
mean,
he
there's
needed
been
that.
off-season drama. He gets mad at Jalen Hurts, supposedly. He doesn't get the ball enough. Kind of seems like a diva, but welcome to being a wide receiver in 2024.
Right.
New
Yeah, it was
age.
interesting. He was just sitting there.
Yeah.
Like,
And for me, it felt
was like
kind of old school coach. It felt like checked out.
right.
Unless
That's what the comments were saying.
yeah, unless that's the playbook.
Right.
But for me, in this day and age, hey, I was coaching down with the Texans. They gave the head coach at the time, Bill O'Brien, he gave everybody a cell phone break. Not a bathroom
Kids
break,
need it.
but a cell phone break.
Not kids, excuse me, but yeah.
Whatever is needed. If he goes out there and they perform, hey man, you need a book. I can recommend you a book if you locked in still. If that keeps you focused.
And it depends on the person because I know with our son Israel, like, sometimes when I'm working out, me and you work out, we listen to that headbanger music. Like I want something
Sometimes.
to get turned up.
Not now,
But our
though.
son Izzy, he wants to listen to like R&B.
That's
Michael.
me. I don't listen to headbanger music. You don't ever
Oh,
hear what
when you was in the league,
yeah, gospel, R&B,
yeah,
all day,
so
every
I guess
day.
so I could understand.
College, maybe. I was
You
listening
gotta
to
get
Pastor
fired
Troy
up,
in
though.
college.
Yeah. But I can see, but he did let everybody know that,
What
that's my way of
would
meditating
heaven
and refocusing
and
my
hell
mind because
and
it is a lot
vice
of
versa.
chatter in your head when you're on the
Right.
field. The fans are yelling at you. Maybe that's his way of getting locked in. So I looked at it from a different perspective once I heard him speaking on it. Now, you did say when you were with the Texans that Coach Bill O'Brien, excuse me, gave everybody a cell phone break. And I do want to talk about the TikTok ban.
Yeah.
Because I started thinking from a different perspective. If they and when they, I don't even know if it's going to be official. They're officially going to ban TikTok or not. Is it official, Ryan?
Right now, if nothing changes, January 19th is
Maria
the date.
upset too.
Okay.
She
Like,
didn't
I
get
don't
money.
think it's as drastic as it will be. Well, it won't be deleted from your phone,
Yeah.
but it'll be like heavily restricted access. Like, you'll need a VPN, all
And I
that,
think-
all that
I think
stuff.
they're not letting new people sign up as well. Like no new
You
people.
won't be able to
can-
update eventually,
can
then you'll be
update.
able to phase out. But I was thinking from a different perspective of just kids and their mental health, and maybe kids that aren't going to have access to TikTok.
Parents,
like they're
too.
used to. But facing depression though,
Parents,
and adults too, right? I mean, I know I'm on. I really don't watch too much TV. I'm a content
Maria's
creator
on.
and a content consumer.
I think she got a problem, Ryan.
I be on TikTok all
I be
night
having to
long.
call her
But
sometimes.
But Ryan,
Where
my
are
algorithm,
you?
my algorithm is so.
I'm damn near about to put a tracker on her.
I'm in the
Where
drive
are
on
you?
TikTok, right?
Or she's in a parking lot
yes.
on TikTok uploading video. Girl, the
I'm a
dog
content
need to be
creator.
taken out. Izzy got to be taken to practice.
We'll do that later.
The dinner ain't been back.
But
she's
look,
looking at
Josh,
videos.
Think about how often
Talk about
me and you
mental
would go to
healthness.
comedy shows, get our laughs and our chuckles
Right.
in there. Think about how often you click on TikTok or whatever you content you consume and just start cracking up laughing.
Right.
When do you get that joy? You know what I mean? As
I get it.
feel like
I
when
be
they
laughing at
remove-
Kiki and
Yeah,
you be looking
TikTok
at me
has
like,
been-
what you laughing at? I'm like, yeah, it
so
was
it
real.
does bring a sense of joy to you sometimes.
Absolutely,
Right.
sometimes.
So I'm just thinking about, once they remove it, TikTok, in my
I'm
opinion,
not on TikTok
in our
like that.
era, I feel like there's nothing like TikTok.
I'm not
Facebook
on
doesn't
TikTok
compare.
like that.
Facebook doesn't compare.
Maria?
Instagram doesn't compare. X does not compare to TikTok. So now that they're going to be taking it away, I worry about people who struggle with mental illness, how that's going to affect them because it is that important to some people. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
And if y'all want to get together and protest, I'm down because we gotta
Well,
go.
everyone's downloading. It's called like Red Pages.
I'm
I
already
think.
on there.
Red
Are you? Yeah. It's
I
like
just
the new
can't
thing.
read it.
Everybody's flocking over there.
Yeah,
Do they
flocking
pay?
over there, and
I don't know. That's a good question.
that's the thing too with the content creators. They make really good money on TikTok. So
I
what are
was
they
late
gonna
to
do now?
everything.
Yeah, Josh's always late.
I was I remember Maria first told me about Twitter. I'm like, man, ain't nobody be on no Twitter. Then it was just,
That's
I'm
my
like,
TikTok.
God dang.
You like Twitter?
Oh, I'm a Twitter fiend.
Oh, see.
I'm
but
on
as
it
soon
all
as
the
she
time.
told me, it
But
took
that's where
me
I
like
get
a few
news.
months.
That's where I get all my news.
Yeah, everybody said they go on to X and Twitter for news. That's true. But I feel like with me personally, I just feel like everything starts on TikTok first. Like once I see something on TikTok, and it'll be on X like a day and a half later. I'm like, y'all late, but that's just how it is. I got a little bit more. We got to go. Or we got to break.
Oh, we got one more break.
We got one more break. Okay, don't go anywhere, you guys. We'll be right back. All right, you guys, welcome back to the return. Now, Josh, before the show, we were talking about Caitlin Clark and her having someone stalk her, which is that's something I would not take lightly. I know you have fans.
She needed Kevin Costner and a bodyguard. Remember the movie The Bodyguard?
She needed a bodyguard.
With Whitney Houston?
Yeah.
Yeah, she just need to update her systems. Or she is a celebrity. You see how intricate, your security, your personal space is. How bad people can, how bad it can become.
And how accessible
That's
you can be
very.
to someone. Yeah,
you
that's
never
scary.
thought that Caitlin Clark would need security from a fan. Maybe somebody trying to do something bad because they like somebody else or something like that, but not because I love you so much. It's like, dang.
Yeah.
Like I'm a rock star or
I
something.
remember one time, Josh, y'all had I think that was the one time y'all had beat the Steelers. And I don't know where you were, but I was pulling up to the house. Some guy, he had to be like 300-something pounds in his really tiny red car, pulled up right behind me in the driveway, got out the car. Josh Cribbs lives here. I'm like, why did I say
She
yeah?
reaching for
I'm like,
the.
no,
she
I
reaching-
didn't reach for anything.
Oh, okay.
I want to talk to him. He didn't have to do my team like that. And I'm like, what, Josh? Steelers fans showed up to the house looking for you. But
Hey.
it was like he wasn't mad, but he kind of wanted to see the guy who he felt like single-handedly destroyed
was
his team.
doing them in.
But that's
was putting
scary,
him-
though. So I could
It can
imagine
be.
someone...
Yeah, I get it.
You don't get it because
I do.
well, guess what this guy does, though?
Nah, ooh.
You want to know where we live? Just drive for Uber Eats, and then you happen to get a Josh Cribbs order. It's him.
I
You
tip
need an
good
alias,
too.
Josh.
I tip good so they don't mess with the food. That's why I tip so good. I'm like, man,
Well, what if they're a
come on,
Steelers
man.
fan?
I'm gonna give,
Like,
and I'm gonna give you
I'll
all the
lick a
good
couple of Josh Cribbs
stars.
fries for us.
But if that seal broken, I'm gonna look at you like with the face like no good stars.
Josh, why don't you have alias?
And Brian, I hate when they sit it down on the ground.
Yeah,
I didn't ask for
Oh.
that. You couldn't wait just a second. It ain't freezing outside yet.
I just saw a video that went viral. It was this guy who was door dashing, and he comes like screaming, running up to the door, like, "Please let me use your bathroom. Let me use your bathroom. I have massive diarrhea." Like, that dude's handling your
wanted him to-
food. He tried to come in because he's like, "I'm literally
Oh,
in my pants. Like, it's like I have
Oh.
diarrhea. Imagine that." And he hands you your food. I don't like that stuff.
I don't like that. I've never ordered DoorDash or
I'm
Uber
like,
Eats. I haven't
bro.
done that yet. Josh, what you ordered the other day actually had dog hair all around the bag. So clearly they be having some big old husky in their van
It
or
can
their
be
car.
whatever around
I
the
just
bag.
can't get
Long
with
as that
it.
seal ain't broken.
I have trust issues.
I look at the food. I look.
But
And when I
it's-
pull it off, that seal got to be tight. It can't be just come off real easy. I'm like, if it
I
come
would
off
order
easy,
if they
I'm-
put it in some type of container to where you have to enter your personal code to unlock it.
oh
But
wow,
I'm not about to
how
be.
much is that going to cost the consumer?
It
It's
could be
already
like,
expensive.
So you know, you order a pizza and they
the
have it in that
consumer, gee
big
whiz.
insulated pizza box. Maybe it could be something like that, and you
Gee
just have to enter your
Whittaker.
code to unlock it. Because I have trust
Oof.
issues. Before we go, I wanted to say it's snowy weather. I always think about watching movies and being cozy at home. Our daughter went to go see the movie Mustafa, which I will say I felt like it was not promoted enough because I didn't even know it was out. I didn't know it was coming out.
Ryan, what the heck is Mustafa?
She said Mustafa was so good. She said it gives like a.
you
Is that-
mean
is that Lion
Mufasa?
King?
The Lion King?
what
Mufasa?
did I say?
You said Mustafa.
Oh, Mufasa.
I was like, you mean Mufasa? I was like, what is Mustafa?
Because
is this
she said it was so.
I thought there
good,
was
you
some
guys.
dancing, some
And that's what I
rated
missed.
R
No,
dancing
I-
stuff. Yeah, they call
No.
me Mustafa.
I miss. Don't you remember back in COVID when you can watch the movies, the new
Right.
releases at home?
Right.
I missed that, but she said it was so good, and it gave like, okay, I don't want to spoil it for anyone.
I mean, everybody
But it
already
gave-
been seeing it.
It gave the backstory
Right.
to why Scar is the way that he is.
Oh, yeah, and we all kind of know that. Yeah, I think the
You don't know
jig,
that. You
the
never
jig is up. Social media. How could you not? I've been seeing it.
Oh, not on my algorithm. I
they
don't play
told.
that. I don't like people spoiling movies for me. I don't like that.
It
so.
was like Mustafa is the real villain, right? Mustafa.
Don't be
Ain't that we calling
I
that?
don't know. I don't
Mufasa.
know. My daughter said she was in tears. That's all I know. I can't wait to see
See, that's
it.
the problem for me, Ryan. I cried during the first Lion King back in the day. I was like, oh my God.
I've never seen Lion King.
And I was going to ask Ryan, have you ever seen? I knew it.
As a kid.
You know what?
we gotta go.
He makes us really feel old. We love you
Oh,
guys so
man.
much. Stay warm out there. It's going to get cold. And we'll see you next time on The Return with Josh Maria Cribs. Bye, you
Peace.
guys.